doing today?
Very good.
So what was your New Year's resolution from last year?
Lose weight.
And what is it this year?
Gain back the weight I lost.
So what was your New Year's resolution last year?
I don't remember.
So what was your New Year's resolution from last year? So what is it for this year?
To be nice.
And have you accomplished it?
Nah, I already failed.
What's your New Year's resolution for this year?
To know how to answer Hannah's stupid question.
And you think that you'll meet that goal?
I don't know how to answer.
So what was your New Year's resolution last year?
To drink more water.
And did you actually do that?
I got a new water bottle, but not really, no.
Oh, well, that's okay. So, hi Dan, how are you?
I'm good.
Alright, so what was your New Year's resolution last year?
My New Year's resolution last year was to take Kelly to homecoming.
Oh, like Kelly Gallagher?
Yeah, Kelly.
Oh, that's really cute. Hey, Emma, how are you doing today? Good, how are you? Good. So what was your New Year's resolution last year?
Last year I didn't have any.
And hi Krista, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. So what were your goals last year?
My resolution for last year was to eat healthier, and that went pretty well.
Oh, that's good. And what was your New Year's resolution this year?
This year, I'm trying to read the Bible in a year, so every day I'm reading about 5 chapters, and then just trying to work through the Bible and see how I go.
Good. That's cool. I like that. And do you think you'll be able to accomplish that?
Yeah.
Jace, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. So what was your New Year's resolution last year?
To find a better taste in women.
And what is it this year?
To date women.
And do you think that you'll be able to meet that goal? What's your
Yes.
New Year's resolution for this year?
My New Year's resolution for this year is to take Kelly to prom.
Kelly Gallagher to prom?
Yes, Kelly Gallagher.
That's really cute. And do you think you'll meet all these goals, or do you think it won't work out?
No.
You don't think it'll work out?
No.
Why not? Hi, Miss Nima. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Hannah. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So, what was your New Year's resolution this year and last year?
All right, Hannah. I have to tell you, I don't make resolutions. Not this year or last year. And the reason for that is I know myself and I know that I won't be able to keep them, that I can't deal with that guilt. And also, I like to think I'm pretty near perfection.
Hi, Mr. Steve. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. So, what was your New Year's resolution last year?
I wanted to dress as sharp as the social studies teachers.
Did you do that?
I don't think so.
And what was it this year?
I want to tell better jokes.
Well, can you tell us one of your jokes?
Okay. So now that I'm a parent, I only really spell things out loud when I don't want my son to know what I'm talking about. So I don't get it why hip-hop artists and rappers don't want their kids to know what they're talking about. Like, why doesn't Fergie want her kids to know that she's glamorous?
Alright, so what were some of the goals of your parents when you were a kid?
My parents' primary goal, I think they had a lot of goals, but their primary goal, I would say, was for me to do well academically and to go to college. I think I mentioned in chapel that I was the first person to go to college. I actually had an aunt, so that's true on one side of my family. I had an aunt on the other side. She had went to college, but the other side of the family is what I was referring to. Is that no one had ever been to college, and so my parents were always on top of me with academics. You know, kind of the type of thing where their mindset were C's in class weren't good enough. My parents would always say, if I got a C, that stood for average, and that they weren't going to accept average work from me. And so I think their main thing was just those standards. I think they were going to push me and challenge me.
Right.
No matter what. So, but you know, they had other goals, I'm sure too. But I know that was a big push when I was a kid.
Okay. So, what are some of the goals for your kids as a Christian parent?
It's kind of funny. On our refrigerator at home, I have this baseball diamond. This baseball diamond is what I tell my kids. I say these are, like the bases that we're going to run as a family. And so if you look at a baseball diamond, it's got, there's a pitcher's mound in the middle. And there's the first baseline, second, third, and then, all the way to home plate. And so you take all that, it's basically 5 different areas of the baseball diamond. And so what's on that diamond on our fridge are 5 different areas, that I tell my kids that, hey, these are the main things for us. And so, at the center, so like the pitcher's mound, the heart of it all, is I'll talk to them about their spiritual development. And so for us as a family, we talk about, what do we do with God's Word? Are we praying together? What are we doing as far as serving God through our church? And my kids are young, believe it or not, I do talk to them about this stuff. So, but that's the pitcher's mound, and then first baseline. I think this is important for my kids too. The first baseline is my wife and I's relationship, and so for me, that's not just a thing for me and my wife. To me, that's something for my kids even. So I think that's important for them to see. So that's the first baseline, everything to do with mom and dad's relationship, and then the second baseline, so if we're going from first to second, is then the boys. And I talk to them about them growing and developing. And so we got things listed there, like, them getting time with mom and dad, their education, their physical fitness, exercise being a part of their life. So that's that. And then the third baseline is we talk about our home. So like we have, certain things are organized a certain way, we got certain chores, we try to do those type of things, but then we also talk about that we want our house to be a affectionate house. So we do a lot of hugs and kisses and things like that. So, but that's actually listed on there. And then the home baseline is the kind of the thing that's saying, all right, the thing that's going to round all this out. The word we use is recreation, but it's basically, so everything to do with fun stuff we're doing on weekends or vacations that we take, good food that we eat, all that kind of stuff, because our last name's Cook. So we like our food. But anyway, so that's, I have that diamond up on our refrigerator so we see it every day, but it's basically saying, hey, these are the 5 main things. So yes, those are goals, and it's to the point now my kids are old enough that I kind of explain. I mean, my oldest is 8. My 5-year-old probably could care less if I told him that right now. For him, it's more to have him experience it.
Right.
But my 8-year-old, he knows what the diamond is, and we talk about it and things like that. So if that answers your question.
So are there any other ways, like besides talking with them about accomplishing those goals?
Yeah, doing them. And it's the phrase I think goes, talk is cheap. The biblical version of that is actually the talk is cheap, actions speak is what I was looking for. So I had a coach who once told me that. Talk is cheap, actions speak. But I think what he was going after there is biblically, you probably know the phrase too in some of the passages that we're to love, not just in word but in deed. Don't just be a hearer of the word, be a doer of the word. So we try to basically take that. It's more than just like a pretty picture. It's on our refrigerator. My wife and I sit down and try to evaluate, each of those areas. Our relationship as an example. We try to go on dates. We did that last night. Got to meet Mike Ditka while we were out. I actually ran into him downtown. Yeah, we did that on a date night. But anyway, so doing stuff. We're always evaluating what are we actually doing. In these areas. And my boys, specifically their development, so I mentioned the 3 things we have listed are, time with mom and dad, their education, and exercise. And so when we literally look at that, it's like, well, are they getting time alone with dad every once in a while, just mom every once in a while? So I just took one of my sons to breakfast Saturday because of that thing that's up there. Education, my wife's a licensed teacher, elementary teacher. And so whether she's had them at home or if they've been in the classroom, she kind of, and we, our view is to kind of take charge of that. We don't view it as the school's job to educate our children. It's more that the school's helping us to do that. And then even exercise. And sometimes we'll kick them out of the living room and say, you guys need to go outside. Not going to be any more technology time. And get out there and be active. So, but so just trying to not just list those things with them.
Cool. So what are some of the similarities between your goals as a parent and that your parents had for you?
But with what I mentioned with my parents, I think, I think we want to challenge our kids. We want them just to kind of sit back and just kind of let things go as they'll go. Really try to challenge them to push themselves, challenge themselves. I talk to my sons about giving a winning effort. So it's like winning means that you're actually going to accomplish it. To go after it in a way that, it's maybe going to hurt, it's going to be challenging. But just like a muscle, the more you exercise it and push it, it's actually the better it gets. And then the opposite is true. If you just kind of sit around and nothing's ever a challenge, you never push yourself beyond your current, capacity, then it's like things actually can go backwards, just like with the muscles. So I think that's similar. My parents always, we probably go about it different ways as far as how we exactly do that. And then, the education and academics thing's important for us, but kind of like I mentioned, it's just kind of one small part of other things. And I certainly, even that, we don't value that as much as we do, them having a relationship with Jesus. And we don't value that more than our family relationships, But I think that's similar. I think friends of ours would say we take the educating our children pretty seriously, and I think that's similar to my parents too.
Okay, that's it.
So, as part of the girls that are on the girls cross country team, why are goals important to be shared in a community of people?
I think they're important because people can keep you accountable for your goals and help you reach them.
And it's easier to hold yourself accountable when other people know as well. Yeah. So who has been able to meet some of the goals this past season, or been able to set new goals based on this past season? Like, what are your achievements that met your goals?
I think everybody's met at least some type of goal throughout the season because we all set a goal that's like attainable, and then we try to like set goals that are more hard to reach, that we have to stretch to reach.
What place do goals have in a sports team setting, and are they necessary to be verbally shared and accounted for?
I think they have a very important place no matter what we're aiming at. A team always needs something to aim for. It always needs something to focus on and to strive to attain. They don't necessarily always need to be expressly stated, although they do need to at least implicitly be understood. Part of what makes a good team, and you see this on almost any championship team, is a team that focuses on supporting each other. And that's not always necessarily stated of a championship team, but for a team to be good, there has to be the understanding between all teammates. That is one of the main goals, aside from the normal goals focused on race successes.
In the back of your room, you have a teacher organizing seasonal goals for the girls cross country team, which were set on the left and hopefully moved to met on the right. As a coach, how did this come about? And what is the difference you've seen, if there is a difference you've seen since you started making a visual of these goals for the team?
Well, I've always tried to encourage my athletes to set goals for themselves throughout the season, whether it's track or cross country. This particular year, I just felt like it would be better if we could also make that a little more public, so that people outside of the team could see what goals were being set, and that people inside the team could see each other's goals and encourage each other to attain those goals as teammates. Whether we've seen a greater success rate this year as previous years, I don't know for sure. I haven't done the math on that one, but it's definitely something that I think people can appreciate, that they see a physical representation of something, of a goal being met, and realize that it's not just, oh, I should feel good about myself because I met the school, but also everyone else can see that I met the school as well.
So, as the last question, what would be your goal as these girls move through high school and then eventually go on to college?
I want them to see running as a way to use their talents for God's glory, not just something that's a chore, not just something that they do for medals or trophies or something like that. Because those things, nobody cares about that eventually. And years from now, nobody's going to care what place you guys sleep. Because girls are going to learn the friendships, they're going to remember running for something more than themselves, running for the team, and hopefully running for God.
Thank you. Okay, so like are one of your personal goals for next year, for the cross season?
I think like as a team we have a goal, like this year we had a goal, like it was kind of far-fetched, but like top 3 at state, and last year the team that placed first in 1A this year was 10th last year, so getting 7th, we have high hopes for next season.
Cool.